Another episode of Split Screen Reviews. I'm Tony,
I'm Don.
and today we are reviewing Netflix's Pig. It was recently released on the platform. It's directed by Marco Sarnowski, who did Quiet Place.
Okay.
Day one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the original one, the day one variation.
Oh,
Like,
you mean the other one?
yeah. I haven't seen it yet. So apparently maybe
Really?
not so good.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't, no. I'm not the biggest Quiet Place fan. The very
Yeah.
first one was cool.
It was okay.
And then after that,
It didn't need a
good.
second and third one.
No, and usually with those type of movies, it's really easy to kind of rear off the course in a little bit.
They did. They're just cashing in.
Yeah. So as far as Pig is concerned, it stars Nicolas Cage. Most of us should know who that is at this point.
He's like in everything.
He's in a lot
Actually,
of things recently. Yeah.
Under 25,000 or 25 million.
Mm-hmm.
Low budget.
And then for this movie, he is a truffle farmer who has to return back to his past. He lives in the Oregon wilderness, but he has to return to his past back in the city because they steal his truffle pig. Surprise truffle pig, and he needs to get it back.
Mm.
So think of John Wick, but the puppy not getting hurt, but it's a pig.
And I didn't think it was John Wick in any kind of way.
Actually, it's not. For one particular very strong reason, it's not like John Wick.
Yeah, because it's about something else.
It's about a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah. Do you want to start off? I mean, what are we seeing here?
the pig. The pig of the pig that is the pig of Pig.
Yeah. What's the pig's name?
Gosh, I can't remember the pig's name.
Mm-hmm. Is the pig his girlfriend?
No, of course the pig's not.
Did it represent something?
It represented a lot. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of those movies that really highlights people's connections with animals and pets in general. Humans kind of suck. They kind of get on our nerves. They bring up a lot of bad feelings. And animals, they're usually pretty unconditional.
Really? I didn't get that at all.
Oh, gosh, it's so much about
See, what I got was a pig
Uh-huh.
because he had lost, something, which is we'll tell you coming up, that was so important to him that the pig was a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
It was a stand-in. It wasn't the pig that was. I mean, he loved the pig. He said he
Yeah, of
loved the
course.
pig, but it was about loss.
Yeah.
I don't think the animal was the animal. He just went back to his normal, whatever at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His lonely isolation. Why was he isolated? What happened? Might as well get into that. Oh, matter of fact, he's about ready to play a particular tape. What's on that tape? Do we even know yet?
Gosh, I don't remember the actual timeline of it.
Really? Because, see, I create these slides to go in order of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, and I'll get into it, even though part of it is explained, he's a truffle collector. He has his pig, but he's isolated in his little faraway whatever, no electricity or whatever, because his wife at this time passed away.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's his wife. They didn't really specify his wife, but so he gave up on society because it was all fake, and he can't bring himself to listen to a tape of her singing a song, so he puts it in there and pulls it out. However, in the middle of the night, some guys come along, decide to beat the crap out of him and steal his pig.
Yeah.
Which we find out that the kid sitting next to him, it's actually his father that did it.
Yeah, that's the one at the twist.
Yeah. But, at this point, he just gets his friend to give him a drive into the city to find some tweakers.
These are the ones that stole the pig.
Mm-hmm.
Did it for money, of course. That's always.
Yeah. They didn't really care about it. I mean, they just, it was a pig. It was a job. They were poaching, or they're poachers, tweaker poachers, I guess, particularly when an old woman. So they find out that the pig went to the city.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to the city, and evidently there's an underground hotel that has a fight club.
No, not quite a fight club.
No, it's a smack the homeless guy.
Yeah, beat the homeless guy for money. They pay the person getting their ass beat money, and any random people can come up and beat the shit out of you if they pay enough.
I gotta ask, did you like it though? Did you like this movie?
I liked the movie because it said, when people say, "Oh, a movie's like preachy,"
Yeah.
this is a preachy ass movie, but it's kind of done in a way that I like it.
How is it preachy?
It says a lot about human connection. It talks a lot about how, for instance, for me, Nicolas Cage is kind of this weird time capsule. He actually mentions it later where he remembers every person he met and every food he's created.
Mhm.
And so for him, all these people are kind of locked in these like static parts of his mind. And when he returns back to the city, he's kind of reminded of if they've changed a lot or if have their values. Because the key word, if this was Pee Wee's Playhouse, the key word of this entire movie is value. They say value all the time. His value, the value of his name, the value of the truffle buyer's guy. I think his name was Armin, the character.
Mhm.
The value of Robin to him, the value of him to his father. Everything's about value, human value. What does it mean? For the tweakers, the biggest value was money, not this guy's livelihood, not his pig, money for drugs.
Hmm.
So I'm telling you, there's a lot in this movie that I kind of
And
got out
see,
of it.
I just got that this was a sense of loss. This was
It
just a
was,
guy that was checked out, and he was big at one time, and then he gave up everything and
yeah,
walked away. I didn't catch. I see your value thing because definitely in the scene right here,
this was another
when they
one.
go to the restaurant, um, they definitely display the value of the food,
Hmm.
which was over the top ridiculous.
Yeah,
And then Nicolas Cage makes the chef who at one time had worked for him
was an intern at
feel
one of his
bad about
restaurants.
why he didn't fulfill his dreams.
Yeah,
And then he goes on to say that everything's an illusion. Nothing matters.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a whole no kind of nihilistic sort of energy Nicolas Cage has. But as you can see when we get to this part, so this part is revealed that um it was Armin's father. Armin's father is a very rich kind of like restaurateur. Really, really wanted this truffle pig because he could. It was his reasoning for it was sort of he didn't want his son to be in the restaurant world or restaurant business. Like he
Actually, I
wasn't.
think he just hated his son. He
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't like his son at all.
Well, that's because they're kind of a fractured family. Because as you mentioned, a large part of this movie is loss. The loss of
Well, their mother,
yeah,
because there were some cutaway scenes where one Nicolas Cage goes back to his old house that he used to live in
yeah,
and talks to a boy, which is kind of pointless. I mean, I guess if you come back after 10 years, you want to reminisce,
hmm,
but then it was over. And then the same thing with this kid. He goes to uh, um, his mother, who is being on artificial life
yeah,
support, and then they just leave it and it's gone.
yeah,
It really was just a kind of a slice of life kind of thing. And then Nicolas Cage sends him out because the guy decides, hey, I'll give you $25,000, but you're not getting that pig back.
hmm,
And so Nicolas Cage comes up with a plan to make some food, sends the kid out
hmm,
to a mortuary to pick up some wine.
hmm,
And then there's a small scene where we find out that Nicolas Cage has somebody, entombed at the mortuary who's waiting for him to show up, maybe his dead wife or whatever.
hmm,
And then that scene was over with because we just got a little bit of backstory.
yeah. So this Armin, his dad, and the mother represent the idea of what loss is. When loss isn't you fully lost something, loss is it's not the same as you remember it. Armin in the very beginning talks about how he loved his mother and father and that they loved eating Robin's food. Their favorite food in the world was this particular meal right here that Robin is cooking at the end after this man has done, kind of ruined his life, stole his pig, sent him back out into the city to deal with all these people he haven't dealt with in like 10 to 15 years. There's a scene earlier where he doesn't realize the waitress that's at the diner he's very close to passed away almost a decade ago. That's how disconnected he is
Mhm.
from people. So this scene is as touching as it is because again, he remembers everyone he met. He remembers what they were like at the time. He remembers things they said. Like this guy is
So why did he make him the meal?
he made him the meal to get his pig back essentially. He
Okay.
felt there was nothing more value he could get. He, again, value was mentioned. When he came there and he met the father, he said, He wanted the pig back. The guy tried to offer him money. Robin was
Hmm.
denying the money, and then he goes, "You have nothing. You have nothing to
See,
offer me."
that's not what I got. This is interesting. See, the reason why he made the meal, this is what I felt, is because it, food, taste, smell
Mhm.
brings back memories.
Of course.
And they had said earlier that the kid that Armin
Yeah.
said that his best memory of his parents was one night they went out and came back and they were actually talking and joking versus what they were doing before, which was they were always mean and nasty and drunk when they got home.
Mm.
And that one night meant something to him. It turns out that he made that exact same
Yeah.
meal for them. That brought up the feelings of the guy's wife,
Yeah.
and he breaks down and starts crying.
Mhm.
And at that point, because of the memories coming back, he wants to give the pig back,
Yeah.
but he couldn't because,
The pig was dead.
yeah,
The tweakers then
tweakers.
killed the pig.
It's always a tweaker.
They killed the pig
Hmm.
because again, the pig didn't mean nothing to them other than money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it. Huh? I mean, he goes back to his cabin after that, goes back to
Yeah.
his life because it turns out he didn't need the pig because he was such a master chef that he knows where to find the
Yeah.
truffles. And he even says at one point it's the trees that finds it. It's not the pig. He loved the pig.
Yeah.
And so life goes on. He goes back to his secluded life at the end and it was over, which was this is the last scene from the movie.
Mhm.
It was him sitting there getting ready for bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
I liked it.
Kind of I
I
liked it.
liked it a lot.
No, I liked it a lot.
It wasn't John Wick. I mean, it was John Wick if John Wick was a chef.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't John Wick because one of the things I kind of looked into it that people really appreciated about this was the lack of
Why did they
violence.
say it was all? Why?
Why what?
Why did they all say it was John Wick? I mean, like a lot of the reviews. Oh, this is like John Wick with a pig.
Well, because someone's going on a journey to essentially get back an animal they cared about. That's kind of like the baseline reason. It's not John Wick because John Wick is pretty much an action flick with a lot of violence. And this movie, outside of the little Fight Club thing, has very, very little violence in it. It's kind of threatened, it's kind of talked about, but he, a lot of things is conversations. A lot of things is understanding people's intents, their desires, what makes them click, what they're about. And yeah, I just liked it.
Okay.
I got a lot out of it.
Okay.
Clearly did too.
So recommend? Yay, nay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'd
Um,
recommend it.
it was made for $3 million,
Hmm.
which is amazing. Came out during COVID, so no one saw it.
Yeah.
It's great. I recommend it. I think it's a beautifully shot movie. It's very dark the entire time,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, it looks fantastic. And I like Portland. It's filmed on location in Portland, which is another thing that I liked.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, highly recommend it.
I
And
agree.
I guess we're at the end of this.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. This is our first video on talking back, and I hope you enjoy. It's not really a talk back, is it?
It's more of a synopsis and general thoughts
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you want a good movie that has a lot to say, it's going to be a little bit emotional,
somber.
somber. It's interesting with Nick Cage. Bring up, he's kind of like a almost sort of guru like figure. Everyone he talks to or meets, he kind of has like this wealth of knowledge or wisdom because he was someone who made it to the top, was very powerful,
Yeah,
successful, had money, and then gave it all away. Whereas you see Armin's dad, who was still very obsessed with his money and where he's at. Again, the whole value, you'll listen to it. Value is brought up so much. People, money, what you're doing, your intentions, your dreams. The chef that starts not making a pub because that was his dream. And he starts doing this foo cutting edge bullshit recipes that he doesn't care about or like. But anyway, it was great. Again, I have a lot to say.
yeah,
But we're good.
yeah. We're good. Anyway, give us a comment, like it, and subscribe, and let us know if you want more content like this. We're going to do these live, once a week or twice a week, depending on the time. And thank you for joining us. And stay tuned. We'll be coming up with another one. I think what was our next one? We got two more to do.
We do.
In the pipeline that we're
Yes.
doing, which is, should we save it? Should we tell them?
Well, one of these we're going to do is for Fear Street Prom Queen. And one.
I'm not going to say anything about Pierce
Okay.
until it's time.
All right.
Loved it. It's fantastic. Anyway, that's it.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again.
Bye.